Okay. What's your full name? What's your full name?
Barbara Weisfeld, Phillips, Landsman,
It's not right.
Saltzman,
It's not-
Burson.
What's your middle name?
Ina,
What's your Hebrew name?
Basia Ita.
When and where were you born?
Camden, New Jersey, June 4th, 1942.
You know what hospital?
Yes, Cooper Hospital.
Cooper Hospital. So tell me about your parents or your family background. What are your parents' names?
My father's Henry, nicknamed Hippie. My mother is Betty. She's an only child. He was one of four. They were both born first-generation Americans. He was born in South Jersey near Camden. She was born in Philadelphia.
And where were the family originally from?
I used to think, excuse me, I have to sneeze. I used to think that I was 3/4 Hungarian. Both of my mother's parents were born in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and I thought that my father's father was Lithuanian, which is true, and that his wife was Hungarian. But the more research I've done, the more I realize that's not true. I don't know where I got the idea. So I think they were both Lithuanian.
And what about on your mother's side?
My mother's side's all Hungarian.
Even though, what was your grandfather's first name again?
Adolf
Yeah, Adolf.
Newman.
Adolf the Hungarian.
His papers say that he got on this side when he entered this country. They say Russia, but there's nothing about that that's true. He spoke Hungarian and Yiddish.
What did your parents do for a living?
My mother, except when she was 16 after her father died, never worked outside the home. So she was a homemaker full time. My father owned a used car parts lot, a huge one, a whole block long, with his brother, my uncle Izzy, and he kept it for a while after Izzy died, and then he went into various related businesses. He had a small used car lot. He was a junior partner in a car wash.
Any unofficial business?
Yes, unofficial business. Twice in my father's life, people swindled him out of a whole business. Once, a guy that he took into his little car lot, and another time when he was selling used planes, the guy's wife ran off with all the money anyway, and he was broken without any money. He was probably in his 50s. So he started a small bookmaking business in which he took what were called numbers. It was the unofficial lottery, not legal. And for a while, I think he took horse bets.
Let me just jump back to something. Did you just say that Pop sold used planes?
Mm-hmm. For a while, he had a partner whose name was George Lutz, who was much younger than he was, and he was a World War II pilot. And even though they still had a used car lot, they also sold small planes. So my father would drive him up sometimes to Connecticut, sometimes someplace in New York State, when I was a teenager. And then my father would drive the car home, and I would go home with George in the plane. That's why I became interested in wanting to learn to fly,
Right.
which I never did.
But Hippie didn't know how to fly.
No, my
Okay.
father did not know how to fly.
Did he ever even go on a plane?
Oh yeah, he went
He
on
did.
these little planes
Okay.
all the time.
Did you, when you were young, like high school all the way down to childhood, did you contribute to family income at all? Help your parents in their work? Did you work at the car wash? Did you ever deliver papers or anything like that?
I always worked. I did work as my sister did too, although she hated it. I worked probably when I was 12 or 13, like on some Saturdays as a cashier in the car wash, which was in Camden near the old RCA. But that was the only other way. But I started working. When I was 14, I worked Mondays through Thursdays at my synagogue as the secretary. My secretarial skills were called into question a great deal. And then I taught Sunday mornings. I taught Sunday school. So I made $80 a month in those days. And that was enough for me to pay for a lot of my own clothes and gifts and things like that.
Well, that sort of dovetails to the next question. What was your parents' religious background, and how was religion observed in your home?
Where did you get these questions?
This is from the UCLA Family History Sample Outlining Questions.
So, I was raised in a very Jewish home. I am Jewish. I'm religiously Jewish and culturally Jewish, but I'm not a religiously observant person. My family belonged to an Orthodox synagogue. We kept a strictly kosher home, that is 2 or 3 sets of dishes during the year, 2 sets during Passover. We changed over our kitchen. We didn't cook on Saturday, although we did drive. But all of the old-fashioned things, the things that my grandmother hadn't done, like she didn't sew on Shabbat, so we didn't sew. She didn't cut, so we didn't cut, or she didn't cook. But the whole tradition of not driving, she never had a car, so we still drove. I realize that's not very halachic, but that's how we observed. My father and I went to shul on most Saturday mornings together, and except during the really, really hard snow, we walked.
But then you went on Saturday to be the cashier at the...
Sometimes then in the afternoon, yes. He has, for that period of time, I think he was with my Uncle Walt. That's not a real uncle.
All right.
Probably 4 or 5 years at some point.
And Rabbi Riff was your rabbi all growing up?
Yes. Our rabbi's name was Rabbi Naftali Riff. He was an amazing man, a person who could say, not just do as I say, but do as I do. He was empathetic. Although he was a black coat, he was very modern in his thinking. And at some point, he let women and men sit together for our first graduation ceremony. And he let my friend Esther Tartar and I, when we finished Hebrew school and Hebrew high school, go to Midrashah and study Talmud, although the lay leaders in our congregation did not want him to, because only men study Talmud. But he was pretty sure that Esther and I would one day care about it or use it, and he wasn't sure about the other boys.
Huh.
There's a yeshiva named for him, one in this country and one in Israel.
Did Rabbi Riff marry your parents, or that was...
No.
Did Rabbi Riff marry you?
Rabbi Riff married me the first time I got married. I was so married, it was really hard to get a get. So Rabbi Riff was my rabbi growing up, and then when I worked at the Hebrew school, there was a young rabbi who was head of the school named Rabbi Horowitz, and I was very close with him. And then my former husband's rabbi from a conservative shul. So we were married by Rabbi Riff, Rabbi Horowitz, and Harry Kelman.
Wow.
Yes, I mean, really married. And we were married in a ceremony, an Orthodox ceremony, in which the woman says not a word. And you walk around him 7 times, but he takes you to be his wife, and then there's some kind of get, not get, there's some kind of ketubah. And
Gesundheit.
I see. And then I think he got like 8 cows from me or something.